Neville Marten from Guitarist magazine.
And I'm Richard Barrett.
Today we've got some PJD guitars, 3. They're the St John range, and we have an Elite.
I've got the Standard.
And this is a limited F.
For the F-hole.
For the F-hole. We've done some PJDs before, and we were very impressed, weren't we, by how they're no nonsense.
Yes, and well engineered. Everything that you could come up with and say, if only there were a guitar that was made in this way or that way, then they've thought of it and they've done it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they use great woods, they use great parts, they use great pickups. They're beautifully, meticulously engineered to fit together. I mean, you couldn't get the thinnest cigarette paper between there
Absolutely.
and there and stuff like that.
No, they're faultless there. And I know that the neck bolts themselves they have threaded inserts in the neck itself. You know, I mean, not that you should be taking the neck off all the time, but it's just nice to know that's never going to strip a thread, is it?
I mean, it's worked for decades, we know, but to put a wood screw through to hold something on, it seems a bit counterintuitive, really. So these they go into threaded inserts in the neck. So these are threaded bolts that go in there, not wood screws. So it's very nice, and I love the way the heel's dressed away there. Can you see how that is dressed away there? It's very very ergonomic on the hand. In fact, when you get your fingers up to the end of the neck, you don't even know it's there. Feel yours, see if it's the same.
I mean, I've got a slightly more stepped here, but you know, I'm guessing that's one of the refinements that you get when you go up the range like that.
Yeah.
This has got a slightly heavier ash body, I've noticed, than a couple of the others, but that's not to say it's heavy, and it's beautifully balanced, so I just want to qualify that.
Yeah.
But it's not a problem. I mean, played a Les Paul for years, so anything else feels really comfortable up there, but yeah, there's no issue.
These are the offset shape, which is really hot these days, isn't it? Everybody seems to be making an offset. And they were designed to be ergonomic. Perfect balance.
Yeah, and they really do.
And the whole offset thing was to make them balanced and very comfortable, ergonomic. These aren't cutaway, they drop away. So there's no issue with getting right to the top of the frets. Interestingly, that the fretboards are compound radius 10, Gibson style 10 down here to a 12 up here. So better for bends, isn't it?
Better for bends, yeah. Sort of get a lower action without a lot of the penalties that you pay. I mean, I think I might have read with Gary Moore once, he was saying something like, you've got to be really careful, you know, it's not just about the choke, it's about hearing the string slap back against the fret and that killing the tone and everything, and you basically get a lot less of that up at the top where it really matters, I think.
Yeah. You don't really feel it, you don't notice it's changed. It's only changed a bit anyway. I mean, the radius being the fact that this is part of what would be a 10-inch radius. In fact, I would say 10 inches. So it's going to be that kind of part of that circle. And here it's a larger circle.
Yeah, so it's flatter.
Yeah, so it's flatter. But they're really nicely set up, aren't they?
These are beautifully set up. And you know what these do? The way that the pickup heights are set, the way the action is set, I wouldn't change anything about it. No,
the pickups are bare knuckle, made in this country, made in the UK, made in Cornwall. And they sound fantastic. And I love their humbuckers are the right shape.
It's funny, once you notice that stuff, it's really hard to look at a different shape.
It's funny that the radiuses and the corners are correct on these, which I really like. What else about? I mean, the one I've got is this is the Elite, mahogany back, open pore. They are finished, but in a very very thin, and they allow the pores of the grain to come through. This has got a roasted flame maple neck, all one piece. Sorry, this isn't one piece because it's got a rosewood fingerboard. Yours is one piece, isn't it?
Oh yes, mine's roasted maple and the fretboard and neck are as one.
Yeah. So I've got the rosewood neck, and I've got the really nice, the kind of, I don't know what you call them, open rectangles, really.
Yeah. I don't know what the name would be, the proper name.
Just attractive. The PJD is, I presume, laser cut into the head stock there. Quite nice. One string tree, which is set quite high. And yeah, I've got bound body on this, quilted, sort of figured maple top, but bound edge, and very, very pretty. And I do like the way they don't have a classic Gibson style
the
surround.
high ring. I mean, I like that
Yeah.
on an arch top,
Yeah,
but yes,
yeah.
on those, I much
That's
prefer
how
the
they
low
use-
profile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've used the same material for the pick guard as for the surround. It really is, it's a tiny little thing, but it works nicely.
I know I mentioned this last time, and it won't matter to most people, but these knobs are the right knobs with the proper shiny
Yeah.
chrome tops.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm sorry to bring that up because it might seem really silly, but they've got to look right, and those spun metal ones never look right to me. So
No. Also, a guy, a British guitar designer, Trev Wilkinson, he's got this thing about the playing arc.
right,
And so, you don't design a guitar where everything isn't in that playing arc. So you strum that way. There's your knob. You strum that way. Sometimes the knobs, the switch is here. Sometimes it's down there. Everything is very ergonomic. It's a very ergonomic guitar.
well, for a growing company, they've
Yeah.
obviously done a hell of a lot of research
Yeah.
into what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
and taken what they.
Yeah, because these shapes, these well-worn shapes, they're perfect platforms to do other things with, because the original offset guitar had lots of switches and lots of this and that, different loads of scratch plates all over it, different knobs everywhere, certain types of pickups. These, we've got P90 in the neck and a humbucker at the bridge. It's a great combination.
Yeah, and they're matched very well with the pots. I think that they're CTS, aren't they? They're,
Yeah.
They're a quality electronic.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got your bridge pickup, you've got your neck pickup.
Right, down and up. So that's how I would like it.
Tone control, volume control, very, very, very simple. And in the middle, you've got this lovely combination of the P90 and the humbucker. It's a really
I had
nice
a play
sound.
with that
isn't it?
earlier. It's quite.
Yeah, give us some sounds.
Well, this is both pickups, and I've got the guitar set because I want some of that in a while, I think. But just to bring things down a bit, so I'm squinting at it because I'm not wearing my reading glasses. Vanity.
No, I didn't wear mine either.
I find that with a really distorted sound like that, on my middle sort of pickup selection, you start to lose the character right up. Don't think there's any fancy sort of 50s wiring or treble bleeds going on in there, but it just works well with the pickup.
Yeah.
The impedances and everything must be well chosen. And I just find that the P90 and a humbucker in the bridge is a nice combination, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Also, the power ratio is similar. You know, if you put, one of those little thin, Telecaster style, there, the mismatch is often too big, I think.
Yes.
But the power of a P90 is very similar to the power of a humbucker.
Yeah.
But you've got that extra, because it's a single coil pickup, you get that sweetness, don't you? In fact, when you play that neck pickup sound, both clean and dirty. Yeah. jam that we played on the spot there was interesting. We're using orange amps. Both of Richard and I both got Rockaverb 50s, which are great amps. So it's a lovely all British combination. You know,
Yes.
British pickups, British amps. We're both set very quiet. We've got some drive on, natural drive from the amps. We're almost, these are spoken volume, aren't they? These
Yes.
aren't, the
Yeah,
guitars
we're
aren't
not
louder than
blasting,
our
yeah.
speaking voice. So you probably wouldn't tell much difference between the tone woods. You know, I've got mahogany with a maple top. Richard's got like an ash.
Ash, yeah, ash
solid
and
ash.
just maple.
And yeah, I've got the rosewood fingerboard here, which can impart slightly different tone, and you probably wouldn't hear that until you at stage
I
volumes.
know what you mean. I tend
Yeah.
to find that with quite a lot of these subtle differences. Yeah, you
Yeah.
really hear them, like rehearsal volume
Yeah.
or stage volume or whatever. But
Even
it
the
can be
amps
harder to
themselves,
tell.
you sometimes don't get the amp's personality until it's cranked up to
The
that level.
frequency response is
Yeah.
not how it would
It's
be. I mean,
not
even the
same. It's
speaker
not the
will
same.
change, won't it?
But it's very nice. I mean, the sounds, I really love those sounds. We've got quite fat.
Yes, they're quite sort of
Yeah.
spongily distorted
spongy,
in that way, but we
Yeah.
can still sort of roll the guitars
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
get cleaner tones, and I
Yeah.
like that a lot. In fact, I sort of generally quite like to have 50s wiring or a treble bleed or something like that on a lot of the guitars that I sort of use, I don't know, professionally or whatever. But playing these today, it works so beautifully, turning
Yeah.
them down. I'm quite enjoying
Yeah.
the slight softness, still clear.
There's a lovely thing that you get when you turn a guitar down that's got quite a bit of distortion on it, because you get. I'll go on to the P90, and if you hear that P90, that's about 3. So
Wow, yeah. And there's
No.
nothing missing from that. You know,
No.
it's not a compromise at all.
that's the P90. Just about, I think on about 8 there. I got up to 10. You get the. Humbucker. There's still a bit of hair on that, isn't there?
Yes,
Just
yeah.
a bit of something. That's on about 6. If I turn that down to 3. Weirdly, the humbucker, I think, is slightly brighter when you turn it down. You were talking about treble bleed capacitors on guitars. You know, guitars clean up differently when you turn them down.
Yeah.
Sometimes the treble goes, sometimes it doesn't go, and you kind of learn to work with that, don't you?
Yes.
But I do like. I mean, currently on my stage setup now, I'm really using my drive sound most of the time and turning down on the guitar, because the volume actually doesn't reduce that much, does it?
No, but it keeps a sort of a frequency response that sits in the mix more and it's livelier.
Yeah.
I don't know if just compression on an absolutely clean sound, in my experience, doesn't work like
No.
that.
But that, if I play a C chord. That's really sweet sound.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a million miles from an acoustic guitar sound. But
Yes,
when you think
you
about
could
it,
treat it like that. Yes.
And my volume was on 4 there.
Well, what did I? Yeah, I was on 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice sound. But were you on neck pickup as well?
Yeah, I tried to
Yeah.
copy the sound you were
Yeah.
getting.
Yeah, that's really nice. It's really nice. Well, there's a guitar we haven't looked at yet. Another member of the family. We should perhaps get that out. Do you want to get that one, Rich?
Sure. They've been holding their tune well, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Yeah, we're in a room here that we had air conditioning on before, and it was kind of top of Mount Everest. We've now gone to a kind of more like mildly tropical
sort of base
thing.
camp, or maybe
and
lower.
Guitars hate that so much.
Yes,
They really hate it, and these have remained very, very stable. And that is probably because of the roasted maple necks. They really
a lot of the benefits of well-seasoned
stable,
wood.
so stable, yeah.
So what have I got here? That's mahogany, but it's semi-hollow.
Yeah.
And because this is a higher tier model, the limited, I've also now got the
dressed away heel.
Dressed away heel, thank you. I
Yeah.
could not think of the word.
Yeah.
So again, you know, it's not one of those conspicuously light instruments, though I'd happily wear that in an all-day rehearsal and not.
Yeah.
And it's well balanced as well. I think that's a lot of the thing, isn't it? When you're constantly sort of pulling things back up into where you want them to be.
Yeah.
But so where were we with that? I mean, on about 4, I need my luminous tape.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I'm hearing a hint more middle sort of body. Wouldn't like to name a frequency, but
No. I'll play some. What are you on at?
neck pickup
Neck
on
pickup.
4.
4. Okay, I'll go on 4 as well. See. What's your chords there?
Oh, it was yours actually. Well, what I remember them as A minor, G, and then D. I think I've accidentally taken one out. I think you started on C,
I started
didn't
on the
you?
C, yeah.
It's a really nice.
Yeah.
It's an easy guitar to play, in the sense not that it's sort of super light strings, super low action, but you just there's an evenness about it.
Yeah, well, they're 25.5-inch scale length, which is, if you like, the standard Californian scale length, if you would put it that way, rather than
I know what you mean.
24 3/4 that's more Kalamazoo and Nashville. And they do feel really nice, and as you said, they're really nicely set up.
Yes.
Yeah, very. Tonally, I couldn't hear again. Probably if you were crank the orange up on stage and you crank the guitar up on stage, you'd hear the subtle differences because that's a hollow set or
And I'm
semi-hollow.
wondering if that might be a bit more lively in terms of you might get a bit more of that controlled.
Yeah.
I realise that at this volume it's futile, but I'd like to try anyway if that's all right.
Yeah, go on then.
That's good. I mean, it
Yeah,
isn't
not bad.
super dirty.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's not. It wants to go.
It does want to go, and as I say, the amps are at speaking volume, speaking level volume.
Yes.
So they're not loud at all. Bridge-wise, it's a kind of like the hardtail version of this, and they're ferrules on the back, so they're through-body stringing. Another nice thing I noticed when you turned yours over.
Oh yeah.
That's a really nice little touch. They're using the same.
Oh, and I think
Finish
that
at the top,
the
and you've got the
standard
same-
has that too. Yeah.
Yeah, yours is yours a green? Is it green burst or something?
It is green burst.
That's a really nice finish.
Yeah, green
It's
burst.
matte, isn't it? It's matte on the top.
Yeah. It feels like a nice
satin.
yes,
Yeah.
satin.
Whereas
sort of
mine's
thin
gloss.
skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a very lovely feel to the necks. I have to say it's a lovely finish.
Nice piece of rosewood on
Yep.
this, particularly nice and dark, if you like dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the same inlays as that I have on
Yes.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good look. I like the green with the matte black
It
guards
does
as well.
sort of say luxury and style
It does.
to me. Yeah. I haven't really given the bridge pickup a workout on this. Shall I?
No,
have
yeah,
a
do
bit of
that. Yeah. How do you
let's
want to
see,
do it?
Well, I was wondering whether to go for the 4 or 5 thing. Same sound.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with the articulation of that. For context, I'm just going to whack it up right up to 10. There's a nice taper. It's definitely that kind of when people talk about using a vintage guitar and being able to just adjust the guitar and the amp, there's something of that feel going on here.
Have you got a little bit more top end on when you're
Let's see.
than me? I can't.
I mean, where I'm sat, I think I'm getting different because, you know, when you're right on top, you get all that sort of...
Yours sounds a little bit beefier in the middle than this. Yeah.
When from here, I'm getting a really nice balanced. Yeah, so it's a bit strange. Yeah, it's all about where you're standing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you were getting that kind of that sustain from the long note. You can almost tune that on stage, can't you?
Yes.
If you want that, you learn them where to move the guitar on the axis with the
it's
amp.
usually right where the singer stands, I find is a good spot. And they don't mind.
I remember watching Gary Moore soundcheck many years ago, and he used to go around the stage and find the Parisian walkways.
Well, that's
spot,
interesting to know, yeah.
And he'd get a gaffer tape X on it.
Right.
And so he'd walk around the stage when it came to the note, get to the, and it's there, exactly. So we digress. Okay, tuners, they're the classic Cluson style.
They're great
60s.
tuners, actually. I'll replace some on another guitar with these and
Yeah.
really notice the difference.
They're really nice. I mean, back in the old days, most people had this kind of tuner, and on the other style of guitar that had this tuner, you'd nearly always replace them with Grovers, wouldn't you?
Yes, I've
on
heard
that
people talking about
Yeah.
Les Pauls being grovered.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
as a guitar repairer back in the 70s, I, to my terrible shame, grovered many a vintage Gibson. Terrible. But these don't need such thing. Today, guitars come with everything that works.
Yeah.
And you replace those tuners because they get very slack. Tuners don't seem to get slack anymore, do they?
No, I haven't really had any issue with that.
They're really nicely made. wound up then. Neither of us had actually played one of these until we got them out just before. So we were introduced to the guitars from nothing.
Yes.
And they were immediately happy to be under our fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Setups and adjustments and everything, absolutely.
Logical layout, completely simple. The standard is $18.99 RRP, UK price. The Elite is $23.99. And
yes, and this one is $26.99.
Yeah.
That's with the Hiscox flight case.
Case. Lovely guitars which go from the utterly functional with some very nice touches. I mean, they're still classily put together. Then you get through to the slightly flashier looking one with slightly different timbers, a lovely bit of flame maple on the neck. And to this one with the F-hole.
Yeah, and the F-hole I don't believe adds anything to the price. I think you can specify with or without the F-hole. I mean, and I know that they're not budget guitars, they're not cheap guitars, but when you pick them up and look at the way they're made and see the kind of hardware on them, then you really have got something that's ready to take on stage, and you won't ever need to do anything with it.
But no, we really love them. I mean, we always on these things say which one you take home, and I've kind of bonded with this one. I love the look of it. I think that blue with the quilted maple is a very nice.
It's a really beautiful
look.
colour.
Yeah, and it does go really nicely. So I'd happily take this one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm struggling because I think last time I really liked the semi-hollow, and so that might be just where I'm at the moment. But I really enjoyed playing that one and was really knocked out. That was the first one I played. I was really knocked out with the whole setup and everything. Though I must say, I mean, I think green might be one of my favourite colours, and this has got that classic car vibe about it almost.
It does. Yeah, the British Racing Green kind of vibe.
Yeah, I suppose that's it. So at the moment, I think I'm going to go with this. And I've always liked the rosewood boards.
I mean, I do love the black with tortoiseshell guard combination. I think that's a good look as well. There's thought gone into these guitars. They're the colours and everything about them, they're slightly different to other guitars, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got their own thing going on.
Their own thing. Yes, they're a York-based company, northeast of England, and we like them very much.
Indeed we do.